The story begins with a quiet convent, nestled at the edge of a bustling modern city. Inside its white stone walls lived Sister Helena, a gentle nun in her early 40s who had devoted her life to prayer, silence, and service. Though years had passed since she first took her vows, she often carried within her a deep longing, not for the world she left behind, but for a deeper understanding of what lies beyond death. She had read about Saint Faustina many times, the Polish nun who once saw the depths of divine mercy and revealed visions of heaven, hell, and purgatory. But Sister Helena always wondered if those visions were only for saints of the past, or if God still whispered such secrets into human hearts today. Her faith was strong, but she quietly yearned for a personal confirmation that the souls she prayed for truly watched over their families, that love did not end with the closing of a coffin. It happened one evening in late autumn. The convent chapel was dimly lit, candles flickering before the Blessed Sacrament, the scent of incense curling softly through the air. Sister Helena knelt alone, her rosary beads slipping slowly through her fingers. Outside, rain fell in steady rhythm against the windows, and the world seemed suspended between heaven and earth. She prayed not for herself, but for the countless souls she had encountered in her ministry, grieving mothers, widowed fathers, and lonely hearts who visited the convent seeking comfort. Her whispered prayer was simple. Lord, if it be your will, let me see how souls remember those they love. She did not expect an answer, but in that stillness, something began to stir. At first, she thought she had fallen asleep, yet her eyes remained open. The golden light from the sanctuary lamp grew brighter, almost too bright to bear, until it filled the entire chapel with a soft radiance. The walls seemed to fade, and Sister Helena found herself standing in a vast, silent field, bathed in gentle light. Neither day nor night, but a timeless glow. Before her appeared a woman clothed in white, her face radiant with peace. Though she did not speak, Sister Helena knew instantly who she was. It was Saint Faustina, her eyes filled with the same mercy that had drawn millions to trust in the Lord's compassion. Faustina raised her hand, and suddenly the light shifted into a vision, not of heaven's glory or the terror of judgment, but of souls watching the living on earth. Helena saw them, countless souls, shining yet gentle, hovering near their loved ones. They did not intrude or speak. They only watched with love so pure that it hurt to witness. Some stood near hospital beds, others in quiet homes where pictures of the deceased hung on walls. She saw a mother who had died years ago, bending protectively over her grown son, her hands resting above his bowed head as he struggled with grief. She saw a father, once hardened in life, now glowing with compassion, standing near his daughter, who prayed for him daily. The souls did not suffer as mortals do, but their longing was deep, a holy desire that their families would trust in God, forgive, and one day join them in eternal light. Saint Faustina's voice echoed gently in the vision. Souls see their families through the mercy of God. Love does not end with death. In their purification, they remember every prayer offered for them, and they too pray for those who walk still in the shadow of time. Tears streamed down Sister Helena's face. The sight was both beautiful and sorrowful, for she realized that even the smallest act of love or prayer on earth sent ripples into eternity. She saw children lighting candles for their grandparents, unaware that those lights shone also in the realm beyond. She saw widows whispering names in evening prayer, their voices rising like incense to heaven. Every act of faith was a bridge between the living and the departed. Then the vision deepened. She saw souls in purgatory surrounded by a gentle light that pulsed each time their loved ones prayed for them. Each Hail Mary, each Mass offered, was like a breath of fresh air to them, and in gratitude those same souls turned their gaze toward earth, asking God to bless the families who remembered. The more she saw, the more her heart trembled. Sister Helena realized that heaven was not distant. The souls of the faithful departed were closer than anyone imagined, unseen companions walking beside the living, hoping, praying, waiting for reunion. Faustina's voice continued. Tell them that their loved ones are not gone. Tell them that heaven's eyes are never closed. Every sorrow offered to God becomes a gift to the souls who once wept with them. Then the vision began to fade. The light drew back into the sanctuary lamp. The field dissolved into shadows, and Sister Helena found herself once again kneeling before the Blessed Sacrament. Her rosary was still in her hands. Yet hours had passed, though it felt like moments. A deep stillness filled her soul. Not fear, but peace. She whispered through her tears, Jesus, I trust in you. From that day forward, something in her changed. She began to write her experience only in her private journal, fearing misunderstanding. But word spread quietly through the convent as others noticed the serenity that radiated from her face. When she spoke of prayer for the dead, her words carried a power that reached hearts. The younger sisters would sometimes find her late at night praying alone, her face lifted toward heaven, whispering the names of those who had passed. It was said that when she prayed, a fragrance like lilies filled the room, though no flowers were near. Sister Helena never sought recognition. She only desired that others believe what she had seen, that love truly conquers death, and that the bond between souls and families is never broken in the heart of God. As time went on, Sister Helena's experience began to bear quiet fruit in unexpected ways. Visitors came to the convent more often, not for miracles, but for peace. Many had lost someone dear, a child, a spouse, a parent. When they sat with Sister Helena, she would listen patiently, her hands folded in calm stillness. She would tell them softly, do not think your loved one is gone forever. They see you in the light of God's mercy. They remember you, not with sorrow, but with love that is purer than we can understand. Her words seemed to open something in their hearts, a space where hope could breathe again. Some would leave in tears, others in quiet reflection, but all carried away a strange sense of being watched over. One day, a young woman named Clara visited the convent, her face pale and eyes heavy with loss. Her husband had died suddenly in a car accident, leaving her with 2 small children. She confessed that she could no longer pray, that her faith felt hollow. Sister Helena listened without judgment, then led her into the chapel where the light of the Blessed Sacrament glowed softly. When you speak your husband's name before God, she said gently, you open a window between heaven and earth. Even if your voice trembles, even if all you can say is, Jesus, help me, that small prayer is a bridge your husband can see. Forever, but as a veil drawn back by divine hands, Sister Helena's testimony had restored what many had forgotten, that the love of souls does not perish. Husbands began praying for their departed wives. Children began lighting candles for their parents. Even those who had turned away from faith found themselves whispering prayers in the dark. It was as if heaven itself leaned closer each time her story was told. Her life reminded everyone that faith is not built on extraordinary visions, but on the quiet daily act of trust. The same trust she learned from Saint Faustina's words, Jesus, I trust in you. In her simple way, Sister Helena had taught the world that the eyes of heaven never close, and that mercy is the bridge between this life and the next. To this day, the convent where she lived continues to hold silent adoration every evening. The sisters there often say that during those hours of prayer, a gentle light fills the chapel, not bright, but soft, like candlelight on water. Some believe it's a reflection of Sister Helena's spirit still interceding for souls. Others simply call it grace. But one thing remains certain. The story of her vision has drawn thousands to pray for the departed and to live each day with eternity in their hearts. In a world hungry for proof, Sister Helena offered something greater, peace. Peace in knowing that death is not an end, but a reunion waiting to happen. Peace in believing that our prayers matter, even when unseen. Peace in trusting that those we love are never truly lost, but live on in the light of God's unfailing mercy.
And so, through her life, her writings, and her vision, Sister Helena continues to speak to hearts around the world. Do not be afraid. Heaven watches, love remembers, and mercy never forgets.
Merciful Jesus, I trust in your divine love. Look with kindness upon the souls who have left this world, especially those we hold most dear. May the light of your mercy shine upon them. May every tear we shed become a prayer for their peace, and may every prayer we offer become a gift of love to them. Teach us to live each day in faith, to forgive freely, and to remember that heaven is closer than we think. Lord, bless the families who grieve, the hearts that ache in silence, and the souls that wander in sorrow. Fill them with the hope that their loved ones are alive in you. Let your Spirit comfort them as you comforted Sister Helena in her vision. Let their homes be places of prayer and peace, where love endures beyond time and death. Thank you, Lord, for the gift of divine mercy, for the promise that love never ends. Thank you for the witness of Saint Faustina, and for the grace given to Sister Helena, whose vision renews our hope. May her story remind us that life on earth is but the beginning of eternal communion with you. Jesus, I trust in you. And as the candles flicker in the chapel's stillness, may these words linger in the hearts of all who hear them. When you pray for the departed, heaven listens. When you love, even through pain, souls are lifted. When you trust, the doors of mercy open. And when your time comes, those same souls you prayed for will stand waiting, their eyes shining with joy, whispering, "Welcome home."